to East Texas now. Joined with us at the top of the hour here, we have a special guest. I'd like you to please welcome Michelle Anderson. She is the Director of Operations at the National Road Safety Foundation. Michelle, good afternoon. There we go.
Good afternoon. Nice to have me here.
Yeah, it's nice for you to be able to come on the show, give us a little chat. So let's start off with the National Teen Driver Safety Week. Now, I'm told, is it next week? Is that when it kicks off?
It begins on October the 15th until October the 21st.
Fantastic. Would you be able to just give us a little lowdown if somebody hasn't heard of National Teen Driver Safety Week? What is it about? What's the core message there?
Absolutely. So National Teen Driver Safety Week, this is a week where we are encouraging parents to speak up with their children who are driving about, being safe on the road and knowing the rules of the road. We ask that parents and adults speak to young people all year long. However, during this week where it's an aggressive campaign, social media, also youth-based organizations and schools, they're all doing their part in order to raise awareness about teens being safe driver, because car crashes are the #1 killer of teens.
It's a staggering statistic to hear that, they are the leading cause of death in children, which is what, teenagers are, children ages 15 to 18. So breaking down those bullet points, are the reasons, do we know the reasons why those teenagers are in those crashes, and how can we prevent that?
Well, one of the first things that we need to understand about teen drivers is that they are inexperienced drivers. And if we keep that in mind, then I think we can really understand how we can prevent a lot of these crashes from happening. But what we're doing during this week, and again, it's not just for this week, throughout the year, we're asking that parents, you be a good role model to your teen driver. So when you're getting in the vehicle, we're asking that you power down from your electronic devices and making sure that you buckle up before you even pull out of your parking space, so that when your teen driver is in the vehicle and they see that you're doing it, they're more than likely to do it as well. And we're also asking parents and teens also to just make it a priority to open the line of communication. Know who your teens are driving with when you're not around. Know the hours that your teen is on the road. It's very important, and it plays a vital role in knowing also what your graduated driver licensing laws are in your state, because they can vary from state to state. And, it's important that we remind teens that, that driving is actually a privilege. It's not your right to drive. And you need to understand that when you have a privilege, that you don't want to take advantage of it, and that you really want to comply with the privileges that you are receiving. So again, it's so important to have these conversations with your teen driver, and also to know, important, know what your state laws are, because they can vary. In one state, that teen driver may be able to go pick up their siblings and have another teen in the vehicle, where in another state you cannot. One state you might be able to, the teen can drive after 9 p.m. In another state, you may not. So these are the things that are going to help control and prevent these senseless crashes from happening on our roads.
That makes sense. It sounds like a lot of this is geared towards the parents and how to connect your teenager with safety. And so I hear you say, set an example. I hear you say, open those lines of communication, continue to talk to your teen. Sometimes that's a little easier said than done. During this week, do you offer some kind of information, or maybe some, here's the first step to get that conversation going with your teen? What can we expect from the social media campaign?
Well, it is sometimes a little bit challenging for a parent to have that conversation with their teen. And that's why we're asking that they know about various websites that they can actually advise their teen to go and take a look at. And some of the youth-based organizations that are out there, such as SAD, Students Against Destructive Decisions, and also FCCLA, these are all youth-based organizations that are also they're doing an aggressive social media push, as well as encouraging the students that are part of those organizations to be very active in their schools. So schools are also participating in this safety awareness week. And so I think that that can be the start of opening up those lines of communication, because once they see that their peers are involved, and once you can give them something where they can see interaction from their peers, and there are a lot of different demonstrations that are going on, it'll get the teen excited, and it'll make them a little bit more comfortable to want to talk with their parents. So that's one of the first things that we're advising.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. So we've gone over a whole lot of examples where teens can unfortunately get into trouble on the roadways. Is there like a number one mistake that teenagers make on the road that we can, if you're focused on anything today, focus on this one issue?
I think the number one thing is distraction. And distraction can fall in a number of categories. And so distraction is a huge, huge issue for teen drivers because they are inexperienced, and also because the teen brain has not fully developed. Your brain does not fully develop until you're about 25 years old. And the part of the brain that is not totally developed for a teen is the part where they're going to make rational decisions, decision making, and that's the frontal lobe. So because of those factors, it's a little bit challenging for the teen. So again, we are just advising that, as much awareness as we can raise, as much conversation as that we can possibly have, these are the things that are going to help the teen. So the number one thing would be distraction. So please, teens, the National Road Safety Foundation always advised to keep your eyes on the road, your hands on the wheel, and your mind on the task of driving.
That's a fantastic little saying there to remember, keep you on the straight and narrow, quite literally. So if a parent is watching right now and they say, absolutely, I want my child to be involved in this, I want to be involved in this, where can they go to participate or maybe learn more about this National Teen Driver Safety Week?
Oh, you can just go to nrsf.org, and actually we have a passport to safe driving, which accommodates both parent and teen. We have tips for both, and you can download it free of charge, or you can put an order in and we'll mail you a hard copy free of charge.
Fantastic. Michelle, before we go, is there anything that we haven't touched on in our conversation that you want to make sure the East Texas Now viewers know?
The other thing that we would really strongly like to advise for all parents, teens, and everyone who's on the road, if you're in a vehicle with someone who is driving unsafely, please speak up. Because of your voice, you're empowering not only yourself, but you are saving a life. So speak up if you see someone driving recklessly, and ask them in care and in love to stop doing what they're doing, or to pull over and to let you out of the vehicle.
Absolutely, that can be a scary conversation, but the consequences of not speaking up are far scarier. Michelle, thank you so much again for joining us here on East Texas Now, talking about National Teen Driver Safety Week. Kicks off next week. So glad that we were able to have this chat ahead of time.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a great afternoon.
Likewise.
Once again, that was Michelle Anderson. She is the Director of Operations for the National Safety. I'm going to pull this up one more time because I want to get it right. The National Road Safety Board. I knew I missed a word there. Phenomenal conversation. If you don't know maybe how to bridge that gap talking to your teens about road safety, this is fantastic information. You just have to go to NRSF. Yep, nrsf.org, and they said they have like a whole printout for you free of charge, or you can get a hard copy, again, mailed to you free of charge. They have a bunch of in youth programs, in schools. There's just so much information to be able to make sure that those teens are safe. Again, the leading cause of death in children 15 to 18 years old is car crashes. And she said the number one reason why those car crashes happen is distraction, and not speaking up is the secondary reason too. Being in a car that you know is unsafe and not speaking up. We It's a really important conversation.